I am a man.
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 Awesome. My name is Gino Masilo, and for short, Gino or Rea. I'm from the Faculty of Humanities studying music. Man, according to me, definitely someone with integrity, someone who's honest, and someone who's reliable. Reliable in every aspect, time, just, everything with life. I feel like that's what being a man is. Definitely a childhood lesson I'm unlearning would be that, the stereotypes placed around what being a man is, that a man shouldn't be vulnerable. I'd say definitely that's one big lesson, that a man is allowed to feel. So you're allowed to be who you are and actually express that. Music definitely allows you to be creative. It allows you to be vulnerable. That's all that music is, because there is no music with no emotion. So I'd say definitely that lesson of being vulnerable. You have to have some sort of vulnerability to produce something great, because it's giving a part of yourself. It's actually, so yeah, I'd say through my music, I've actually realized that that's the type of man I am, yeah. So I'd say creative, vulnerable, and it's also very important to be thoughtful, think about others, because at all times you're always thinking about, oh, who's this music gonna touch, so it's also being very considerate, yeah. So with mental health, sometimes a man shouldn't cry, that's one thing that we're taught as we grow. A man can't cry, a man shouldn't cry, and I feel like at first not many actually deepen, not many actually think about what that actually means, because essentially, I always think that it's not God's will for us to not express, because that's how He made us. So definitely that's a mental health trait that I've unlearned, that, men aren't allowed to cry. And something I'm learning now regarding mental health is that it's actually okay to speak to people, because a lot of the time it's that men shouldn't actually say, like, they shouldn't speak basically, like, about their problems, about what they're going through in life, and it's actually really important to have these things said out loud, and yeah, express yourself to your fullest, for sure. For sure. Music is an escape. It's almost like you just sit down and you let your emotions flow. There is no restriction. There is no barrier. There is no musical note that will tell you can't feel the way that you feel. If you're feeling that way at that exact time, you jot it down, So definitely, with mental health, it's like there is no boundary, there is no restriction, there is no stereotype with music. And as much as there are music conventions, you're allowed to deviate from those conventions, and that's what makes it a more welcoming space. And that's how you help, it helps with your mental health. Being open, being honest about every single feeling that you feel. Because a lot of the times, guys do hold back, and it's okay, but to a certain extent, to hold back, because you bottle up feelings quite a lot, and eventually a full bottle can explode, So it's okay to explode sometimes, but then obviously wisely. But being open, very open with how you feel. Yeah. What's the first question? Okay, cool. So right now, definitely through my music. I feel like, that's but then another thing as well, like, it's not all about the music, it's also about what you do outside of your workspace, so finding the littlest things that bring me back home, or bring back, like, sort of also revisiting my childhood, watching TV shows that I used to watch when I was younger, cartoons, that sort of helps. Playing games, doing things that's out of the normal right now, and yeah, definitely. What was the second question? One thing society is doing. I was an honest answer. I'm joking. I just feel right now in society, it's kind of hard to. Ooh, that's actually an interesting question. Yeah. So basically, I'd say, like, a lot of the times right now as a man in society, especially in relationships, it's kind of hard to have trust because of the stereotypes that already exist. So it's hard for people to trust you if you don't put in the effort to be trusted, So I feel like that's also, like, one thing, because basically now it's like you're working extra time to constantly have to prove yourself to people, to prove yourself to people that you aren't this person, you are trustworthy, you do have integrity. It's all these small things that you're working overtime to prove, and I feel like it does become straining, because at some points, it's quite difficult to actually try and consistently prove yourself. Sometimes you just have to trust the person. But then it's hard now in the society, especially because of the things that are happening around us, And so definitely I'd say, like, that's where one can take a strain. Yeah. My name is Gino Masilo, and I am a man.